Philadelphia, the scene of our next 3 games of the NBA Finals.
Hits from downtown in the face of Philadelphia.
Sixers starting to lose their composure here as they feel their season slipping away.
Back-to-back titles for the Los Angeles Lakers.
A whole lot of Shaquille O'Neal. That's all it was.
The Lakers have the ultimate respect for the 76ers. They made them work every moment.
This is the NBA on NBC.
A capacity crowd, better than 20,000 turning out at First Union Center in Philadelphia for the defending NBA champion Los Angeles Lakers and the best of the East a year ago, the Philadelphia 76ers. The Sixers following a shaky start. Coming on, they've won 6 of the last 7. They're back at the 500 mark at 21-21. While the Lakers, following a blistering start, have struggled recently. They're now 29-11. They are, though, in the number 3 spot in the West. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert, along with Bill Walton, Steve Snapper Jones, and Bill in that earlier meeting between the Sixers and the Lakers in L.A. on Christmas night. It was a game won by the Lakers, despite the fact that Shaquille O'Neal was sidelined by injury. So today it is back to the matchup of Shaquille O'Neal and Dikembe Mutombo, a very, very physical matchup. And as you recall, during the course of the NBA Finals, a matchup that is difficult to officiate.
Marv, ever since Phil Jackson took over as coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, Shaquille O'Neal, who is the NBA's 3rd leading career scorer by average, has become the unsolvable problem. Not only is he the biggest and the baddest, he is so smooth and so graceful. His ability to get where he wants, to repost, to deliver that jump hook, and then his initiation of the contract, the great reverse pivot. Shaquille O'Neal is so tough, so very, very difficult for Dikembe Mutombo. But Larry Brown feels that it's not just the foul trouble in the defensive end for Philadelphia and Dikembe. It's also the ability for someone besides Dikembe in that front door to come up with some offensive firepower to take some of the game away from Big Shaq.
And for Shaq, it's his 4th game back since that 3-game suspension. And Steve, as for the 76ers, they appear to be coming on. They beat Boston in Boston on Friday night. Allen Iverson had that phenomenal game. He scores 47 points. And as of late, he has been lighting it up.
He has, you know, and the Sixers' motto along with Iverson is it's not how you start, but it's how you finish. And last year's reigning MVP is really got the torch in his hand. And when you look at those numbers and you add them up, 40 points a game, it tells you that Iverson's throwing a lot of darts at his opponents. Better thing yet, he's shooting a high percentage. Now, there's a big sign around here, Marv, that says, do you have the answer? Phil Jackson may not this afternoon.
All right, so coming up, it's a matchup of the 2 teams that met in last June's NBA Finals, the Sixers and the Lakers, from the city of brotherly love. Welcome back to Philadelphia, and for Kobe Bryant of the Lakers, who grew up outside of Philadelphia, this is a homecoming. Let's go to Jim Gray with Kobe.
All right, thank you very much, Marv. Kobe, you guys had a good game Friday night against San Antonio, but you've been struggling and inconsistent, losing 5 of 7. Why such inconsistency with the Lakers?
Well, sometimes you got to take a couple steps back to take a step forward. And we feel like that's the process that we're going through right now. We feel like we'll be a much better team once we come out of this.
Is it possible that you guys have gotten bored with the regular season?
No, I don't think so. There's too much competition.
All right, Kobe, good luck today. Hometown crowd.
Thank you.
Marv, back to you.
All right, thanks, Jim. A look at the starting lineups. Phil Jackson Friday night for the game against San Antonio made 1 change, and he is staying with it. Lindsey Hunter will start in the backcourt with Kobe Bryant. Derek Fisher will come off the bench. Derek Coleman made his return from injury Friday night in Boston. He'd had an inflamed left foot, missed 4 games, but this is his 2nd game back. Did a nice job off the boards against the Boston Celtics. Kobe Bryant talking about the difficulties the Lakers have had recently going into Friday night. They had dropped 5 of their previous 7. Phil Jackson had not lost 3 straight as coach of the Lakers, and that remains intact with the Laker win over San Antonio on Friday. And if the Lakers win here today, it means Phil Jackson will be the Western Conference All-Star coach here in Philadelphia. Dallas won last night, but if the Lakers win, they would have a better record by percentage points, and Rick Adelman cannot go once again because Sacramento sent him to the All-Star game last year.
It's going to be critical to see how the Lakers get off to a start. This is a 9 a.m. start in the West, where they came from. A long flight yesterday. Always a difficult transition.
You are not going to say that they're still on West Coast time.
Matt Harpring gets the 76ers going. Well, Bill Walton is still on West Coast time, so he is relating to what the Lakers are going through.
But he's in another time zone further than that.
Beautiful pass by Kobe.
Shaquille O'Neal not able to put it down. Dikembe Mutombo altering that shot. Here's Allen Iverson coming off the 47 points the other night on 16 of 31 to the field. Oh, the fake from Mutombo!
Basketball theory in the low post. Fake one way, go the other, get in the air.
Nice pass by O'Neal. Lindsey Hunter thought he was fouled. Iverson for 3. Yes! And the Sixers off for a roaring start. A 7-0 lead.
Phil Jackson will let this play out, realizing the emotions of coming back after the heartbreaking loss in the finals last year.
Rick Fox hit a big bucket down the stretch on Friday night against the Spurs, and then also made a key defensive stop. So that's the first field goal for the Lakers.
I think that Phil Jackson is probably going to call more timeouts than he normally would if the Sixers continue to roll.
It counts, and the foul. Matt Harpring will go to the line. So the Sixers are providing an early wake-up call for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Front court offense. Beautiful reverse pivot there by Dikembe Mutombo. And then Iverson in transition, something that Phil Jackson does not want this game to evolve into, a wide open running game. And then the ball movement for Philadelphia. And we see early on that the moves in the offseason that Larry Brown made to pick up Derek Coleman and Matt Harpring paying huge dividends early.
I just like to work for the Lakers.
I'm just reporting the facts here, Steve.
76ers with a 10-2 lead. Fox played by Harpring. Samaki Walker had a big game Christmas night against the 76ers.
You know, Walker is playing the best basketball of his career. Maybe it's because he's bounced around a couple of times with playing with Shaq and Kobe, taking a lot of pressure off of him, and he seems to always get off to a pretty good start for you.
Here's Snow able to shake off Hunter. So the Sixers have come out and hit 5 of the first 6 from the field.
The way to beat the Lakers is to attack their backcourt and make them have trouble with their passing and play it at a quick pace.
And the quick pace continues. Lindsey Hunter knocks it down. Sixers with a 12-6 lead. The last time the Lakers played here in Philadelphia was Game 5 of the NBA Finals, 5th and final game last June the 15th, when the Lakers won the championship, and that was their 23rd win in 24 games. The ball knocked out of bounds by the Lakers, so the Sixers maintain possession. Let's get back to Jim Gray. Jim?
Marv, before the game, I spoke to Shaquille O'Neal. His big right toe has been bothering him. It's bothering him a lot today. He said he's having trouble pushing off, trouble jumping, trouble reacting, and trouble running. He said it's going to be very difficult for him to be anywhere near at full pace today, but he wants to play through it. It's simply going to take a lot of healing, a lot of rest, and possibly even surgery. This is going to be an ongoing problem, and he is nowhere near 100%. Marv?
Yes, it's been a lingering injury. He actually had surgery this past summer on the left little toe. Nice move by Shaq. That's his first field goal.
But when you have pain in both feet, that makes it virtually impossible. But Shaq's so strong, so tough, and what a deft touch.
Right now, the Laker defense has been the concern of Phil Jackson, and the ball is moving too freely. Guys are getting shots wherever they want. 4 on the clock.
Iverson rejected by Hunter.
Give it to Kobe in transition. He's wide open on the wing. Kobe is going to be starting in the All-Star game, right? He is a two-time world champion. He's one of the great players in the NBA. Why don't they just give him the ball when he's in transition?
Kobe has not seen much of the basketball here in the early moments.
They're not in enough trouble yet. They're only down 8 points. They need Kobe to put on the cape a little bit later.
Give it to him every time. That Shaq doesn't have it already.
6 points.
Shaq, nice move. Shaquille O'Neal with the turnaround against Dikembe Mutombo.
Eric Snow already with 4 assists. Kobe Bryant. I don't think the Laker defense is as sharp as it was in the finals last year.
Here's Coleman.
Everybody in that starting lineup for the Sixers has scored except Coleman, and they need him to get something going because when he scores, he also passes and rebounds well.
For the Lakers, it is game 1 of a 5-game road trip. Philly followed by Atlanta, Orlando, Memphis, and then Dallas. They're in a stretch playing 6 of 7 on the road. Hunter with the steal. Snow is back. Hunter spinning his way and put home by Bryant. Crowd looking for a foul call.
But an offensive goaltending call as well. The crowd livid early on. Big sports day in Philadelphia. These fans not only want the Sixers, they got their Eagles playing later on this afternoon.
Iverson. And Samaki Walker able to haul it down. Shaq with good possession. Backs his way.
Nice tip out by Derek Coleman. Should have been a traveling violation on Shaquille.
Iverson whipping by Lindsey Hunter. So the Sixers now lead 16-12.
Remember yesterday Phil Jackson told us I'm going to try to limit those quick bursts from Iverson, but he's been out almost every time.
Shaquille O'Neal draws the foul. He's headed to the line. A timeout is taken with 5:34 to go in this first quarter. Philadelphia 76ers off to a hot shooting start. Overall 7 of 13. Matt Harpring hitting his first 3 shots. Allen Iverson 2 for 5. Hit a 3. Shaquille O'Neal is headed to the line of 51% free throw shooting. 3 for 6 the other night against San Antonio. Went to the line in the final seconds, missed the first against the Spurs, and then hit the second, which turned out to be a significant free throw.
With Shaquille unable to practice because of the lingering foot problems, it makes it very, very difficult for him to get any sort of rhythm whatsoever. Free throw is always a struggle with Shaquille. I was amazed that he only went to the free throw line a few times.
I know you're not going to say it's his lack of ability to practice that's hurt his free throwing, because he has been an awful free thrower his entire NBA career.
How can your game be sharp when you're unable to practice due to physical limitations?
You can stand around and shoot free throws.
Here's Derek Coleman. And Shaq handling. Takes it up to Bryant. Shaq gets down deep and is fouled. Derek Coleman came over to help out. Shaq looking very active, though, this first quarter.
Looked like there was nothing wrong with his feet or toes on this one as he was leading the break and right down the middle. And this is when he's most dangerous, when he can run right down the middle of the court. There's nobody big enough, strong enough to keep him out back at the line.
But look at the great centers in NBA history. 2 of the best at that, well, 3 of them would be Hakeem Olajuwon, Wilt Chamberlain, and Moses Malone. It's just running straight down that lane, getting underneath the basket, unfolding there with the reverse pivot, and then delivering after you get a great post-entry pass.
Eric Snow walking by Shaquille O'Neal had something to say to Shaq. Obviously an editorial comment about the free throw stroke.
Well, Eric Snow is playing phenomenally early on. The Sixers have 7 hoops. Snow's got 5 assists and 1 of those 7 hoops.
Sixers up by 3. Iverson asking for the screen, and then finds the wide open Matt Harper.
What balance. Larry Brown telling us yesterday that as Iverson isolates their teams, come to his own defense.
Here's Fox. Rick Fox hitting on his first 2 shots. Sixers now lead 18-15.
And that is a big sign and a plus for Phil Jackson. Fox has been very erratic this season in making shots.
Iverson with 7 points. This game going at a very fast pace, in particular when you consider a noontime start.
This is a Dallas Maverick pace. Minnesota Timberwolves.
Samaki Walker rebuffed. Harpering. Now Snow sets it up for Iverson. Whipping by Walker for the reverse.
Steve, you mentioned that Allen Iverson being in such a zone, averaging 40 points a game over the last 7, forcing Phil Jackson to take a timeout. Larry Brown said that Allen Iverson had his best game of the season Friday night in Boston. He's on his way to a similar performance today.
Spectacular basketball here at the start. Just under 4 to go in the first. Allen Iverson exploding along the baseline, and the Sixers lead by 7. Allen Iverson off to the fast start. Kobe Bryant not seeing the basketball. He's attempted just 1 shot to this point. Derek Fisher has checked in for the first time. Robert Horry has come on.
But I'm sure, Mark, part of that conversation was, let's get number 8 in the ball game. Let's find out whether he's got the torch in his hand or not.
Corey Blunt, Roger Bell, and the newest 76er, Derek McKee, have come on now for Larry Brown. Here's Iverson. Blunt, who is a question mark because of back spasms, giving it a shot.
This Sixer team is better than last year's NBA finalists. They're the league's best defensive team by the numbers, and with Derek Coleman and Harper. Oh, beautiful passing, Shaq.
Gorgeous backdoor pass for Robert Horry.
From Johnny Red Kerr.
That's so much for defense, too. I mean, you know, the guy walked right down the lane.
This is a Sixer team that you get the idea that is evolving. It's been a roller coaster season. Foul is called. They lose 5 in a row. They win 7 straight. They lose 9 out of 10, including that 7-game losing streak. And then they turn it around. They won 6 of the last 7. Kobe Bryant called for the foul. There you see the ups and downs that the 76ers have gone through. And they have won 6 of 7. And extending that, they've taken 9 of the last 12, all in the month of January.
Like the Portland Trail Blazers this season, a ton of health problems early that are now being resolved.
Well, the problem they're going to have right now is getting the ball in the air.
Roger Bell not able to make contact with the rim. It's a 24-second violation.
The lineup that the Sixers have relies heavily on Iverson to score the ball, to make plays for everybody else. Derek McKee, Corey Blunt, Mutombo, and Bell all are going to need some help, so they're going to have to move the ball, move themselves a lot quicker, or we're going to see more shot clock violations.
Derek McKee in his 7th game as a 76er. He's here for his defensive skills. Played for Larry Brown with the Indiana Pacers.
4 years there in Indiana. Larry Brown traded for him, traded Detlef Schrempf to pick up Derek McKee with the Pacers.
Well, McKee knows all of those veteran tricks, and he's very, very smart. When he first came in the league, he was a reluctant offensive player and just decided to become a defensive specialist, but he can still score the ball, and he'll have to take the open shot and make it, because I'm sure Phil Jackson is going to say, with those guys out there now, we'll just guard Iverson.
McKee called for that reach-in foul. Aaron McKee, incidentally, is out of action today as Shaq tried to go glass.
Very sad about Aaron McKee. We hope he's all right long term.
Suffered a mild strain to his left Achilles tendon on Friday night of the game against the Celtics. An emphatic block by Shaq. It's a 3-on-2. Fisher.
Blistering pace here.
Well, this pace favors the Sixers. It does not favor the Lakers. The Lakers like to play east-west basketball. You're going to beat them play north-south and play fast.
And there's a shot by McKee that comes up short.
Who threw Robert Horry to the ground?
Now a minute and a half remaining in this first quarter. Phil Jackson telling us yesterday that he wants more of that. Rick Fox taking it to the rim. He feels that this team has been three-point shooting happy. Too many three-point attempts.
And they have not taken, the Lakers, a single three-point shot this afternoon.
Well, remember this. 2-point field goals win you games. 3-point field goals are bonuses, but the team that makes the most twos is going to end up winning the game.
Phil said we're shooting like 20, 22 a game. You just can't do it. As Pat Riley used to call it, fool's gold, that you can get suckered in by hitting a few, and then you end up like 4 for 26.
Are you saying that he got stuck in that mind? Because his team shoot a lot of threes.
I think Pat is very flexible. He's changed over the years.
Hey, the Heat are playing better basketball. They trounced New Jersey yesterday.
Now, they've had some quality wins here of late, and
beat the Lakers.
The speeches are more believable now from Pat Riley.
Speedy Claxton has come on for the Sixers. Devin George now on the floor handling the ball for the Lakers as we approach 1 minute remaining in this first quarter. Oh, the backdoor pass intended for Kobe Bryant, but he came up short.
Kobe was saying, throw it higher, and Horry immediately said, my fault.
They get more scoring out there. Coleman's back, Claxton and Iverson all can score the ball.
Iverson. Coleman missed the tip. Coleman on the follow. Aaron Coleman able to hang in and score on the follow-up shot. The Sixers lead by 7.
2 for 1 time. Lakers have to attack quickly.
Claxton picks up the foul.
But when Shaq goes to the bench, everything changes for Los Angeles. Phil Jackson would just as soon play Shaq 48 minutes, telling us that before the game. But Derek Coleman now, knowing Samaki Walker and Robert Horry, the only big guys in there for Los Angeles, easy pickings on the offensive glass.
That was the 4th team foul on the Sixers. Robert Horry with a nice turnaround for his second field goal, and the 76ers have a 24-19 lead.
Allen Iverson's taken 11 shots already. And look for him to take the final one here of the first quarter.
Get a foul against Devin George, so the ball is going to go on the side.
That's their first foul in the last 2 minutes.
Next foul puts the Lakers over the foul limit.
Eric Snow wants to get in the game a little bit too slow in doing so.
6-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock.
Double team off of Blunt or off of Derek McKee here and help Fisher on Iverson.
You see they're zoning up Iverson, not letting him have a lane to penetrate.
24, no, it's waved off the strip by Bryant, who takes all the way. Yes, and it counts.
Phenomenal play by Kobe Bryant. First on the defensive end. Become one of the league's great defensive players. Separating himself from guys like Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter. Now all of a sudden Kobe Bryant has a chance to cut into this margin and make it a very respectable end of the first quarter.
Anytime you put a lot of defensive players out on the floor, you got to have stops. And Larry Brown gambled, didn't get the scores with the stops, and Blunt is coming out of the ball game. Eric Snow back in.
Now was called on Derek McKee. Brian Shaw now will check in. Both clubs doing a lot of shuffling here in this opening quarter. We're down to 2 9/10 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Kobe Bryant looking to complete the three-point play, and hearing the boos here in his hometown.
How could they boo him? They just retired his number at his high school last night. That's embarrassing.
All right, there's Iverson. Can he get it off? He does.
12 shots for Allen Iverson in the first quarter.
And counting. After one, it's the Sixers 24, Lakers 22.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome home from Lower Merion High School's class of 1996, Kobe Bryant.
That
the scene last night as Kobe Bryant returned to his old high school. He graduated in 1996. His number was retired. You see Shaquille O'Neal, one of 6 teammates who went out for the ceremony with Kobe. There you see him with his former teammates and former coach. His number was permanently retired. No one will ever wear number 33 again at Lower Merion High School. A very emotional night for Kobe Bryant. His parents were there. Samaki Walker, Bryant Shaw, Devin George, Mark Masden, Rick Fox, as well as Shaq. Kobe said today it was just an awesome, great feeling. He was thrilled to be back with all of his old teammates. It really was something special for him, something he said, Marv, he will absolutely never forget, and was quite honored.
All right, thanks, Jim. We also learned that they not only retired Kobe's number, but they forgave those overdue library books several years back.
Kobe's finally healthy. His ribs have gotten better here. He's got a new physical fitness regimen and program there involving plyometrics, and his legs have gotten very fresh. We're seeing that this afternoon.
Second quarter underway. Marv Albert, Bill Walton, Steve Snapper Jones, Jim Gray from the First Union Center in Philadelphia. Second meeting of the regular season between the Lakers and the Sixers, and Robert Horry is feeling it. That's his third field goal of the game. Is tied at 24.
Phil Jackson, who obviously loves Robert Horry, would like him to take more shots.
Claxton. McKee. Whoa. Looked like he wanted to give it up, had nowhere to go.
Well, he wanted to pass it to Harper, and the lane closed, so he thought he'd throw it up in the air. He almost got lucky. Let's see how much passing the Lakers do without Shaq in, and how efficient their triple post is.
Run everything through Kobe here.
And Kobe Bryant taking advantage of the size differential against Speedy Claxton, who happens to be a very fine defensive player.
Philadelphia has to get Derek Coleman involved. Now's a classic opportunity because Shaq's on the bench.
First time the Lakers have led. Offering. Rebounded by Horry.
This has to be frustrating for Philadelphia. They played so well. Everything was going their way. Shaq's out of the game, and the Lakers are still surging and taking control, gaining momentum.
Samaki Walker called for the offensive foul. Lakers have reeled off the last 9 straight points.
We go back and take a look at the hoop by Kobe Bryant. You can see he's eyeing the defensive Coleman. He knows where Speedy Claxton is. He can jump over him. Now, when you got that kind of size, I don't care how good you are. You're a little man playing a big guy, and you're going to get toasted.
Was that the triangle or just great talent?
Well, that was great talent.
Sixer ball.
It'll be 76er ball. Larry Brown now has a backcourt of Allen Iverson and Speedy Claxton. He has Derek Coleman, Matt Hoppering, and Derek McKee up front.
Last year, Marv, Bill and I did a lot of games in here, and the Sixers are very streaky. They bust out, and then they cool off, then they come back, and the guy that's got to lead them is Iverson. So he's got to get a little bit more rhythm in his offensive game here in the second quarter.
There's no runouts for Philadelphia right now. It's a structured, organized game where it favors the Lakers, and Horry continues to look for his shot.
A quick release 3 by Horry, who has 9 points. He's 4 for 4 from the field. 9 points in 6 minutes for Robert Horry. Robert thinks this is the playoff game.
Who can forget the job he did in the finals last year? And every finals he's been in.
Will travel.
Horry's been banged up. He's got a very sore hamstring. His biomechanics are just not right, but when he's got this stroke going, he's looking to take it early with that step back to gather momentum and rhythm. He's awfully tough.
Phil Jackson has said, and you mentioned he's a big favorite of Phil's, but Robert doesn't seem to get fully interested until late in the season. Once again, had a tremendous run in the NBA Final. Was one of the stars of the Houston Rockets back-to-back championships.
Robert Horry likes to play in October to let you know he's on the roster, and then he likes to make big news in May and June when everybody else has forgotten about him, and somewhere in between, Robert Horry disappears. Kobe goes out of the ball game, so the 2 big stars for the Lakers are on the bench.
Horry at his best playing with a dominant center, Shaq and Hakeem. He was a center in college where he learned to feed the post so well.
Kobe picking up his second foul, so took a seat. Nice move by Derek Coleman. So that ends a 12-0 run by the Lakers.
Philadelphia trying to exert some pressure defense, keep the Lakers from getting where they want, when they want.
Well, with this lineup, Fisher and Hunter out there, you're going to get some ball handling mistakes if you keep the pressure up.
Horry coming up short on that three. Walker, nice play. Samaki Walker on a quick release in that post move. So the Lakers now lead 31-26.
In the Christmas Day game, it was Samaki Walker with 18 points, 10 boards. Larry Brown irate with those kind of numbers from a role player, Samaki Walker.
Iverson is fouled by Fisher. Timeout taken with 3.5 gone by in the second. Lakers up by 5.
Jim Gray back in Philadelphia. Everybody, you remember this guy. He's from Lovetron. You remember that planet. Chocolate Thunder. Daryl Dawkins, former 76er, now a coach in the USBL for the Pennsylvania Valley Dogs. Daryl, you gave out a lot of punishment, and you received a lot of punishment. What about the power of Shaq?
Well, Shaq, he got one dunk. I call him monstrosity. Get your coat and bag, get your hat and run. Because when he dropped down on your opponent, it's just begun. I mean, this cat, it's impossible to stop. He's just too big and too strong.
Now, Kobe is another guy. You held him in your arms when Jelly Bean Joe was a player here with you. Did you ever imagine that Kobe would develop into what he has?
No, I remember Kobe was knee-high to a ducktail. I call Kobe a Wile E. Coyote because anything Acme sell, he'll try. He's a great kid. He's been playing great ball.
Now, you were an original funny guy. What are your thoughts? Yeah, you were. I mean, in your time, you were way ahead of it. Now you hear all these guys trash talking. Are you offended by it, or where do you come down on it now?
Well, these guys talk trash and can't back it up. I got a good godfather, Nick Antonelli, say they can't back it up, dork. They can't back up the talk, don't do the dork. So that's where it goes.
You're going to be coaching with Chuck Daly. You'll be coaching the rookies here during All-Star Weekend.
My main man, the Joker from Batman. Chuck Daly is the original Joker from Batman. I mean, they should get nobody else to play that part but Chuck Daly. I'm glad to be coaching with him. He's my man. I'm going to have a great time.
Daryl, great to see you. Good luck in your pursuits trying to become an NBA head coach.
My pleasure.
He'll be coaching against Billy Cunningham. He'll be Chuck Daly's assistant.
I got one for Billy, too.
All right, Mark.
Oh, that's the first time Jim Gray lost control of the microphone.
Oh, I miss Daryl.
How did you guys fare going head-to-head?
Oh, I'd love to play against Daryl. He was so much fun.
He tore up the locker room there, and they never let him forget it.
Mitch Richmond has come on for the first time for the Lakers, and Shaquille O'Neal powers his way against Dikembe Mutombo, who felt there should have been an offensive foul.
I would have loved to have seen Daryl Dawkins play against Shaq. Daryl was so strong.
Lakers have a 9-point lead. The Sixers have gone cold after the good start. Coleman tipped home by Mutombo.
Robert Horry playing terrific defense on Derek Coleman.
But they're going to have to quicken the pace. They got to get back, pressure the ball, make some mistakes so they can get some runouts and some quick scores. They're not going to beat the Lakers in a half-court game. Last year's championship series, it showed that.
And Shaq is really passing the ball well today.
Once again, Shaq goes against Mutombo. Here comes Claxton. 76ers with a 3-guard set. Claxton, Snow, and Iverson, along with Coleman and Mutombo up front.
Snow was so sharp early. Can he get it going again?
Iverson in the midst of a drought after the good start. Shot clock at 5. Coleman for 3. Kept alive by Claxton.
Lakers are double teaming Iverson.
Oh, what a move by Speedy Claxton. So the Lakers now lead 35-30. And the call away from the ball. Foul on Coleman, his second.
Well, Speedy Claxton has the ability to adjust. I don't think he was planning on making that big of an adjustment, but finish the play. He can score the ball. We saw it early in the season. He's just now regaining his confidence. Harpering coming in the ball game. Coleman going down.
Shaq was thinking, anticipating that Speedy Claxton was going to pass that ball. Shaq wasn't really ready footwork-wise to make a defensive block.
Rick Fox checking back in along with Kobe Bryant, replacing Mitch Richmond and Devin George.
Did you didn't know Mitch Richmond was out there. That's how short a time he got.
It was a cameo.
He hasn't been playing much.
Here's Bryant. And a loose ball foul. It's on the Lakers. It's on Fox.
Was that the Lakers' first three-point shot, or did Horry make a couple?
Horry made one.
Horry hit one earlier. 1 for 3 from downtown for the Lakers.
That one came at 9 o'clock, Marvin. Bill had not arrived.
Phil Jackson said he wants 4 or 5 passes in the triangle offense before any of these wild shots up from the perimeter.
To the fadeaway from 20 feet away.
You got to get it back on the offensive end when you're playing against Shaq, because you're not going to be able to keep him from getting his.
Here's Bryant. Offensive foul. That's 3 on Kobe Bryant. The 76ers have moved within 3 with 5:32 remaining in the half.
The contributions of Eric Snow are small and subtle and sometimes very unappreciated, but everybody here in the building is appreciating the fact he's able to get in front of Kobe Bryant, pick up that 3rd personal foul, and number 8 will have to sit for the final 5:32 of the first half.
And where does the offense come from now for the Lakers? Right back to Shaq, get everybody moving. Horry, Fox, Fisher has to come alive. Who's going to bail him out at the end of the shot clock, though?
6 straight points for the 76ers. They're now within 3. Lakers have led by as many as 9. Lindsey Hunter able to reach for that rebound. Hunter and Fisher in the backcourt. O'Neal up front with Fox and Horry. Robert Horry, a pleasant surprise offensively. Question mark of that nagging hamstring injury. And a foul is called. It is on Iverson.
Derek Fisher going to the free throw line, never fouled jump shooters. One of the reasons that Phil Jackson put Lindsey Hunter into the starting lineup instead of Derek Fisher is he needed somebody to stabilize that second unit here. So while Lindsey Hunter gives him great defense, Derek Fisher a little bit more of a leader out there in terms of keeping the second unit together.
Derek had the strong run last year after making it back from the foot surgery. Missed the first 12 games after undergoing another foot surgery this season. You can log on to NBCSports.com for in-depth coverage of the NBA. Steve Snapper Jones will focus on what must be done to prevent more incidents like the recent one involving Shaquille O'Neal and Brad Miller and Charles Oakley of the Chicago Bulls. Plus, email Bill Walton your NBA questions. It's all at NBCSports.com. Allen Iverson. That's his first bucket in a while. Now has 11 points.
Bill, what do they do when they're both playing at the same time since one guy's supposed to stabilize the other?
Well, that's because Kobe's in foul trouble. I think Derek Fisher's better with the ball. Lindsey Hunter better off the ball.
8 rebounds from Mutombo. Iverson with the step. And the call against the Sixers. Offensive foul on Iverson.
It looks bad. It looks very bad. I am the smallest guy out here. I run into Shaq, and it's an offensive foul. How can that be?
And he took a pretty good shot on the bridge of the nose. Now the Lakers call for time with 4:13 left in this first half, and Los Angeles up 37-34.
Will be selecting one lucky fan every home game. Will be the recipient of a Reebok 76 jersey plus a $50 gift certificate.
I'm Ivan Shad here in our Olympic studios at the International Broadcast Center in Salt Lake City. Coming up at halftime, Jason, Pat, and Mike will answer my rapid-fire questions in our 24-second clock segment, plus a high-speed movie trailer featuring Olympic snowboarder Chris Klug. Guys, what's your take on this game?
Well, the Lakers going to have to be careful. Kobe has 3 fouls right now, Mark.
13-2, Lakers bench.
Allen Iverson takes 12 shots in the first quarter.
on record pace here, 48 for the game, only 2 so far in this quarter. They led at the end of the first quarter by 2. Now back to Marv, Steve, Bill, and Jim in Philadelphia.
All right, thanks, Ahmad. Incidentally, the czar, Mike Fratello, along with Pat Croce, Jason Williams, Ahmad Rashad, in our Olympic studios in Salt Lake City. The czar offered his expertise in the Louvre for NBC's Olympic coverage. His services were vehemently turned down.
I can understand that. He's terrible at that.
Coming up on 4 minutes remaining in this first half, Rick Fox with his 3rd field goal. And the Lakers now lead 39-34.
Well, that's one of the ways to take advantage of a 3-guard lineup. Put a bigger guy like Fox down on the post.
Philadelphia's offense has disappeared. They had, 25 points or so in the first quarter? Only had 9 since?
Hit 5 of their first 6 shots. And since then, they have not shot well. Here's Shaquille O'Neal. Another rebound for Dikembe Mutombo.
Well, one of the reasons is they moved the ball up the floor earlier, just like then. And when they can challenge in the open court, this is a more successful offensive team.
Offering has 11. The Laker lead is 3. This is a Laker club that began the season at 16-1. Now, since that point, they've gone 13-10. Lakers did play 11 of their first 17 games at home. Fisher coming up short. And they're in a stretch where they're playing a lot of road games. Shaq and the Lakers now lead 41-36. But prior to the win over San Antonio at home on Friday, the Lakers had lost 5 of the previous 7. They'd lost 2 in a row. Phil Jackson in danger of seeing his Laker team lose 3 straight for the first time since he took over the coaching reins. That won't count. Foul before the shot attempt.
I think they are bored. And when you look at their last 8 games, Minnesota lost. Minnesota's a terrific team, but inexcusable to lose to Chicago, Denver, Clippers. Corey Maggette went wild right in Kobe's face that night.
Hey, Bill, what? When you were on that Trailblazer team and they were 50-10, you never got bored winning games. Where do you come up with this idea the teams get bored? They want to win all the time.
Tough upcoming road trip. Atlanta and Memphis not playing well right now. And there's no talk of contraction, is there? Basketball?
Are you trying to get something going here?
Atlanta and Memphis are struggling right now.
Memphis
lost to Chicago. We saw last week just how fine the team Chicago is.
You make that point as if you've done intensive research.
Oh, hell.
Really,
Well, I've been taking
What a good point. They're struggling, yes. Here's Iverson off the steal. Oh, he's stopped from behind by Hunter, and the Sixers want a foul. Iverson is down. Shaq is able to stop the Lakers up by 7. Allen Iverson holding his hip, his lower back. You hear the reaction from the crowd. The Sixer bench jumping up immediately looking for a foul. Now there's the concern about Iverson's status physically.
It was all ball up top, no question about that. What happened down low? Lindsey Hunter, like Michael Cooper, just timed the ball beautifully from behind. Can only hope that Allen is all right.
Lindsey Hunter with those long arms, one of the reasons that the Lakers were looking to add him to the squad for his defensive work.
Well, they're talking about a collision that drove Iverson into the seats, and you take a look at it at full speed, and this is the reaction, bang, right from the rear, and on his back he goes. And remember, a year ago, Iverson had the bad hip, had to struggle through that and into the playoffs, and there were games that he missed that hurt the Sixers. So this is one of the most resilient guys in the league, and we'll see how he responds at the break.
It was not a foul. It was all ball, no body contact whatsoever.
76er trainer Lenny Currier checking out Allen Iverson.
So when you get knocked down, it's not a foul.
I don't know how he went down, but there was no contact while players were in the air.
Iverson headed back to the 76er locker room. Here's another look at it, and you can see he lands, might have hit the camera.
Well, they have those runways there for the players.
Foul on Fox, and you hear the sarcastic roar from the crowd. There's the camera. Apparently that's where Iverson landed.
And this is the runway right here, that little red striping for the players to run through on their layup attempts. Allen gets a little bit to the outside of that and runs into difficulty.
Lakers over the foul limit. Eric Snow to the line. Let's go over to Jim Gray. Jim?
Marv, I just spoke to Allen Iverson as he was coming off. He's gone back to get some treatment back in the locker room. He said it's right above his hip, on his back, and on his side. He is in a tremendous amount of pain. He was having some trouble breathing. They're going to examine him right now, the doctors and Lenny Courier. They'll look over him at halftime, and they'll try and get him back to play. But right now, he's in quite a bit of pain.
Marvin. Nice, Jim. Just under 2 to go in this first half. Nice pass again from O'Neal. Ori not able to convert. Roger Bell draws the foul.
Now that is beautiful Philadelphia basketball. Dikembe Mutombo. Phenomenal defensive stand there. Dikembe forced Ori into a very difficult reverse layup attempt after guarding Shaq at the free throw line, and then ignited the fast break, and everybody's out on the run.
And you get the finish, and Raja Bell turns his ankle right at the end, and when the Sixers were getting over their injury problems, looked like they may pick up a couple extra, or he didn't want that layup. He made no attempt. That was a sad attempt he threw.
Foul called on Rick Fox. That's Devin George. Checking back in. Roger Bell was in the starting lineup at the beginning of the season because of the many injuries suffered by the Sixers. Played well, you recall, in last year's NBA Finals after making the rounds in the NBA and CBA, USBL, overseas.
Some backcourt pressure.
This is not an offensive lineup that's going to cause Phil Jackson to lose any sleep.
Mutombo with yet another rebound. That's 11 for Dikembe. Here's Claxton. Crowd again looking for the contact.
Come into Shaq right here. Make him collapse, and then Shaq can pick him apart with his defense.
Right attitude by the Sixers, though. Keep challenging, make the official, make the call.
Shaq coming up empty. Snow pushing it down. Lakers got back as we approach 1 minute remaining on the first half. Bell is hit from behind by Hunter.
Fouling jump shooters, both teams with constant mental breakdowns here.
So Roger Bell, a 75% free throw shooter, heads back to the line. A reminder, next Saturday, 3 Eastern time. It's an NBA on NBC doubleheader. First, it'll be Rasheed Wallace and the Portland Trailblazers facing Karl Malone and the Utah Jazz. And then at the nightcap, Ray Allen and the Bucks will host the 76ers. Blazers and Jazz, followed by the Sixers and Bucks next Saturday right here on NBC. And a reminder to join TBS Tuesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern time. The Clippers and the Mavericks. Tuesday night.
Blazers playing their best ball of the season right now. 1-8 out of 10.
Yeah, they're in a dogfight with the Utah Jazz and the Suns and Sonics for a playoff spot as well.
Brian Shaw line driving it, and the ball back to the 76ers. The Laker lead is down to 2. They've led by as many as 9. Early on, the Sixers led by 8. We have 45 seconds remaining in the first half, and they are on their feet here at First Union Center in Philadelphia.
Mutombo only has 1 foul. Very good first half performance for him.
Claxton off the dribble. Here's Bell for 3. Mutombo able to field it. Ball knocked out of his hands by O'Neal. Dikembe looking for position and draws the foul.
Well, Mutombo wanted that one, worked real hard to get it, and finally got a whistle to go his way.
Remember when we talked with Dikembe yesterday, Steve, and he was reliving the moments of last year's finals when he was getting elbowed in the face on a regular basis.
Reliving those moments.
Yes, it was not pleasurable for Dikembe.
Shaq picked up his second. Dikembe, a 77% free throw shooter. And apparently we have some more information on Allen Iverson. Let's go to Jim.
All right, Marv, Allen Iverson receiving treatment right now from the 76ers doctors. The word from Lenny Courier is it's a contusion of his lower back. They'll work on him during halftime, and he will return to play in the second half, so that's good news. Mark?
Well, Steve, as you mentioned, Allen Iverson used the word resilient.
He's a tough guy. You know, last year he had all kinds of injuries and just played through it and had his best season.
1 point, Laker lead. Foul is called on Snow. They had a foul to give, so we have 11 and 9/10 seconds remaining in the half.
They used it too early. They should have waited until the Lakers were really up against the clock.
They've increased their defensive attitude, and the pressure on the ball has been much greater, and it's been tougher for the Lakers to run their offense.
Here's Hunter for three. Final second, Shaq. George. Oh, Devin George with 0.2 of a second remaining in the first half. So the Lakers with a 45-42 lead at halftime. Well, coming up, Ahmad Rashad, Pat Croce, Mike Fratello, Jason Williams on the halftime report from Salt Lake City, Utah. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Halftime in Philadelphia, where the two-time defending champion Lakers lead the 76ers 45-42. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Olympic studios here in Salt Lake City. We're now just 12 days away from the opening of the 19th Olympic Winter Games. I'm here with Jason, Pat, and Mike, and boy, I'm telling you, the 76ers hanging in there.
It's a game, Ahmad. Watching Allen go down, though, I grimace out of habit. But he is one of the toughest Warriors pound for pound I know, and don't bet against him. I'll bet he's back.
In order for them to have a chance to win, he has to come back.
He's got to come back.
All right, it is time now for one of our favorite segments of the show, and that is the 24-second clock. And since the All-Star Game starters were announced this weekend, let's begin by talking about some players. Now, Jason said yesterday that he wanted to talk more about the Nets. So what we're going to do is have him start with the biggest star to play in the Meadowlands since another guy named Jason played there. I'm talking about Jason Kidd.
Well, Jason Kidd is fantastic, Ahmad. Here goes a guy who leads the league with triple-doubles. He led the Nets in assists every single time he's played. Here goes a guy who comes to the game and make everybody want to come to work. You know, not like point guards of the past. This guy comes in, if you miss a shot, he throws you the ball. He tells you to take another one. The other guy used to come in, throw you the ball, and drop his head. This guy has to convince the New Jersey fans that he wants to be there, and then the New Jersey fans will come out to the arena.
A guy that you would have loved to play with, wouldn't you?
Definitely.
All right. Now, Jason Kidd, speaking of Jason Kidd, he is arguably the best point guard in the league, but if I was going to make an argument, it would be for another Bay Area product. So when I go to Pat, his assignment will be to take on the other guy that I was talking about. That is Gary Payton.
Oh, Gary Payton. 7-time All-Star, and he's not starting this time. And scores about 23 points for Seattle and has a career high right now of 9 assists. I think he's third in the league behind Miller and Jason Kidd. He's tough. Oh, you know, we call him on the defense the glove. Well, this year it's an iron glove because for the first time in his career, he's strength trained. He's weight lifted. And he's being a leader on and off the court to the young players like Rashard Lewis and Desmond Mason.
All right, Mike, it is now your turn, and a lot of people may not have heard of this guy yet, but he is probably one of my favorites of all time. He's a young man. He's a rookie from France. He's Paul Garçon, right?
No, first of all, he is not from France. He's from Spain. It is Pau, and it is Gasol.
He's a rookie.
He's a rookie, but I'll tell you this about him. He's 7 feet tall, 230 pounds, 21 years old. When he was drafted, he was compared to Dirk Nowitzki and Kevin Garnett, big men with skills. Go back, 10 points a game for Garnett, 8 points a game for Nowitzki in their rookie season. Right now, he leads all rookies in points, rebounds, block shots, field goal percentage. The month of January, he has been sensational. Every category, he's up over 20. 9 rebounds. Do I have to stop?
And you know what? But this guy says he don't like American food. I got a problem with that.
Well, he probably likes French food.
He hasn't had a Philly cheesesteak. That's what we go
You know, for those of you that have not seen Pau Gasol, we got some footage here to show you. He can do a lot of different things. You'll see him here going right to the hoop with the dunk. Now, nice little runner across the lane.
You are right. He doesn't like American food. Look how skinny he is.
But he's got game.
He's shooting over 50% from the three-point line. This guy is really talented.
You sure he's not French?
Does he like any food?
Okay, now we're going to mix it up a little bit for round 2 and go back to Pat. Now, if I told you I am thinking about a leading Western Conference team with an all-star who's one of the best players in the league, you'd think I was talking about the Sacramento Kings. But I am not. I am talking about the Minnesota Timberwolves.
The Wolves, one of the top 5 teams in the league. I know they have 33 wins. They score over 100 points. Exciting team, led by one of my favorite players, Kevin Garnett. Riding shotgun, he has Wally Szczerbiak, who's 2-guard right now, shooting over 50%. They've overcome a lot of adversity, losing 4 first-round picks. One has been reinstated. The loss of Joe Smith, who's now on the team. And I think for the first time, they will be out of the first round.
That was perfect. That was absolutely perfect. Now, in the NBA, when you look at certain teams and they have no big men, the first thing the fans say is, why can't they get a big man? But the fact of the matter is, they're very, very hard to find. So if you're a team that needs a big man, Mike, where do you find one?
No question, big men are a premium to come up with. If you want to go the free agent route, you could go Oldham Polonius, Otis Thorpe, Dickie Simpkins, Chanel Scott. If you want to go the trade route, the biggest name out there right now, Mark Jackson from Golden State. Remember, because Golden State matched the contract offer, he has the right to veto trades. He said only 3 teams, Orlando, Indiana, Memphis. This week, Phoenix was thrown into the mix. Already, Orlando has said no interest, Memphis no interest.
Michael, who is going to pull the trigger and have the approval of Golden State?
Well, the obvious one to me right now might be Indiana. They just lost Al Harrington for the rest of the year with a torn ACL. They may need a big man replacement.
Well, I tell you what, Mark Jackson got to quit feeling like he's been dissed and go out and play. You know, this is a business. This ain't the playground.
All right, so now our last one. Jason, it's your turn again.
Let's go, brother.
Yes, and yours is about Michael Jordan.
You know this guy?
I happen to know him.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I should be fired because I'm the first one who said Michael Jordan would not be here at this time. I thought he'd be injured. You know, one thing about Michael Jordan, he said this would be a journey. This would not be a sprint. He's become a more patient player, and patience brings perfection. I watch this guy go out, and every time I says he can't do it, he goes out and he does it. What else can you say about Michael Jordan, who's the greatest player on this planet, leading the Wizards to a playoff berth? Good gracious.
I love it. Good job, Jason.
Extra time. I could have used those seconds.
And I didn't even want to do that segment. They made me do it.
We will be back in Salt Lake City in just a moment. You're watching the NBA on NBC. Just 12 days now until the Olympic flame reaches Utah's capital for the opening of the Salt Lake Games. Last night, the torch traveled across Idaho, headed toward Yellowstone National Park, and a lunch date today with Old Faithful. One of the newest sports on the Winter Olympic program is snowboarding, which I can barely say. I can barely do either. Now, it was added in 1998, and one of America's best is 29-year-old Chris Klug, who is starring in an action-packed movie trailer currently running in 5,000 theaters across the country.
Where's my air support?
Beautiful, she's telling me we'll be wet.
Hey, what's going on?
Are you in some kind of trouble?
Meet me in February.
Where?
Salt Lake City.
Okay.
Wow, my favorite part was when Chris laid out that gnarly stalefish there and landed in that goofy-footed tail slide. See, that's the kind of stuff I used to do when I snowboarded. Chris actually has a pretty remarkable story. Less than 2 years ago, he was in an operating room for a liver transplant that saved his life. He suffered from the same rare liver disease that afflicted the late Walter Payton. The surgery was a success, and he was back on his board in just a few months. After a slow start this winter, Klug was in danger of missing the Salt Lake Games, but he managed to clinch a spot on the U.S. team in the final 2 qualifying events. He will compete in the parallel giant slalom during week 1 of the Games. Turning from snowboards to backboards, what should we be looking for in the second half?
Well, I think right now we have to look for Philadelphia's bench to pick it up, Ahmad. You know, they're getting outscored right now 15-5.
Well, they said Iverson will be back, and they need him. They're 0-7 this season without Allen.
I'm not allowed to cheer on the 76ers, but I can say, let's go Eagles! Yeah!
We will send you back to Philly for the second half between the Sixers and the Lakers. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Larry, the condition of Allen Iverson, will he play in the second half, and can he be effective?
No, he's going to try to play. You know, it's not his tailbone like it was last year. It's his hip. So we'll see. You know, if he's hurting, he won't play. But he wants to try.
All right, Larry. Thank you for your time.
Okay.
Marv. Thank you, Jim. Iverson played 21 minutes in the first half. 5 for 16 from the field. 11 points. And he is giving it a shot despite that lower back injury.
15 points off the bench for the Lakers. Very solid there. Fisher had 2, Ori 9, Devin George 4. Low-scoring game. That could be very significant.
Kobe Bryant playing with the 3 fouls. As a result, only 15 minutes in the first half. 3 for 6, 7 points. Shaq with 11. Shot only 5 for 13, 11 apiece for Iverson. And Harpering to lead the Sixers. Mutombo with 12 rebounds.
They want to remedy that problem for Bryant right away. They go to him.
Kobe able to post up on Snow, and the Lakers now lead 47-42. The 76ers coming at 21-21. They've won their last 2 over Boston and Washington. They've won 6 of their last 7. Snow coming up short. And the Lakers are on it. LA at 29-11. They won at home against San Antonio on Friday night. They had dropped 5 of 7 before that victory on Friday against the Spurs.
Shaquille's controlling the action mentally. He's passing, he's seeing, he's directing.
Shot clock at 5 as Bryant misfires. Kept alive. Fox able to slap it back to Hunter.
Well, that's what the Sixers can't afford. Do a good job defensively and then give the Lakers a second opportunity. Usually second chances cost you big time. Bryant.
And Kobe has come out firing here in the third quarter.
He sat on the bench for those last 5 minutes and why can't I get some of this action? If you're Hunter, turn him to the middle here where the help is.
Harpering draws the foul.
Harpering was so good in the early moments of this game. They went very quiet.
5 for 7 for Matt Harpering, 11 points. O'Neal picked up the foul as his third. Let's check in with Jim Gray. Jim?
All right, Marv, I had the opportunity to speak to Allen Iverson as he came out and warmed up. Allen told me that it is the portion of his right hip that is in between his hip and his rib cage on the backside, giving him a little bit of trouble running up and down the court, trying to keep his stamina and be able to breathe properly. He also said that he's going to need his teammates' help on defense quite a bit because a good pick, a blindside pick, could end his day. Mark?
Iverson, played by Hunter. And on the turnover, here's Fox. Hunter for 3.
Beautiful patience by Rick Fox. Didn't try to force anything. He knew he used all he had to just get the ball on the defensive end, drive it up, and then find a wide open, rested, fresh Lindsey Hunter.
And we mentioned earlier, Phil Jackson and felt in recent games Lakers were taking too many three-point shots. They've been very selective here this afternoon. Walker got a piece of it and last touched by the 76ers.
Sixers are looking too much in the direction of the official. Forget Samaki Walker grabbed them, held them.
It's terrific defense. Lakers up by 7. Here's Hunter. And the Sixers looking to run. Iverson for 3. They get the new 24. Offering. Yes. So the Laker lead is now 5. Remember the earlier meeting on Christmas night in Los Angeles, despite the fact that Shaquille O'Neal was sidelined by injury, and then Kobe Bryant hurt his ribs, led by Kobe in dramatic fashion, the Lakers were able to pull it out and beat the 76ers.
Fine defensive stand, that possession by Mutombo.
Nice pass. Derek Coleman brings the Sixers within 3.
That is known as a delayed break, and one of the slower guys finishes the play. Snow held it up long enough for Coleman to bust wide open.
Philly is pressing on the perimeter. Shaq's having to step to the free throw line to be the passer and the release man. Blocked by Mutombo. Transition opportunity.
Mutombo providing problems here this afternoon for O'Neal. Coleman spinning his way on Walker and deflected out of bounds.
How's that not a foul? Derek Coleman is at the basket making a layup. Somebody just reaches in, looked like Shaq, and just grabbed his arm. It would have been his fourth.
Derek accepting it.
But Dikembe did not accept it, I tell you that. He put his hands over his head and said, what is going on here?
And it's kicked out of bounds by Harpering.
Fox reaching in, and that threw Harpering off. He thought he got fouled, and the Lakers forced another turnover. Turnovers are usually the strong suit of the Sixers, forcing turnovers and scoring out of them, and they're making a couple early ones here to keep the Lakers on the lead.
Now Bryant played by Harpering. Kobe just trying to shoot his way back into it. He is now 4 of 11. Snow is fouled. Foul committed by Walker.
Nobody works harder at getting fouled than Eric Snow and gets fewer calls, and this time he finally gets a break just on a quick push of his own. He's smiling about it. Maybe I got a break from the official.
Steve, we talk so much about injuries in this league and how it changes everything, but who has gone through a tougher 6 months than Eric Snow? 3 days after the NBA Finals were over, Derek McKee checks into the lineup. But 3 days after the Finals last year, Eric Snow had surgery on his ankle, 5 screws and a plate. In the exhibition season, when he just comes back from his fractured ankle, he breaks his thumb and has 5 screws and a plate put in his right thumb there. Left thumb, excuse me.
And you look at the injury hit 76ers this season. Snow missing 21 games. Coleman 10, Aaron McKee 9, including today. They began the season without Allen Iverson. They missed Iverson right at the start, so they lose 5 in a row. Then they win 7 straight. They lose 9 out of 10. They go through that 7-game losing streak, but they have turned it around recently. They've won 6 of their last 7 games. Snow with a crossover, but threw it back out. Here's Coleman for 3. McKee with the save. Here's Coleman challenging O'Neal. And the 76ers lead by 1.
Different kind of energy for the 76ers. They're the aggressors at both ends. They're not letting the Lakers do what they want to do. And at their end of the floor, they're reacting to the misses a lot better.
Derek McKee, anticipation, wildly throws it back. Fortuitously goes right to Derek Coleman, who's able to slice the lane. Shaq avoids picking up his critical 4th foul.
And McKee picked up the foul at the other end. He now has 4. 76ers with 8 unanswered points to take this 1-point advantage. Shaquille O'Neal has been off. Bothered by Mutombo. Shaq is now 5 for 15. Here's Iverson over O'Neal. He was won for his previous 10. The Sixers now lead by 3. That's 10 straight points for the 76ers. Oh, Hunter, with Iverson falling down, trying to take advantage.
That's an ill-advised shot by Richardson. Run a give and go there.
What did they tell you? The play is over when your man falls down in basketball. He was wide open.
O'Neal, that time facing the double. That's his first bucket in some time.
Mutombo, to his credit, has done a fantastic job of coming up with a theory of how to effectively keep Shaq away from just dominating right at the rim.
Mutombo coming up short on that jump hook.
You want to share the theory with us at some point?
And it's a jump ball.
The theory when you play against as dominant offensive player as Shaq is make him take fadeaway.
This crowd reacting to the hustle, to the aggressiveness of the 76ers. Timeout called with 6:08 remaining in the third. And the Sixers with a 10-2 run lead by 1. Well, since opening day of last season, the Philadelphia 76ers have gone through a dramatic facelift. Look at all the shuffling done by this franchise. Guys coming, going. Tyrone Hill, Jermaine Jones gone. Matt Hoppering, Wyatt, Anderson, Lynch, Yosu, Traylor gone. Blunt, Coleman, and Montego Cummings acquired back in October. Goes on and on. 3 players remain from the start of last season. Allen Iverson, Aaron McKie, Eric Snow. And we're talking about a team that went to the NBA Finals.
I was hoping you were going to sing along with that one. It was such a catchy beat.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't Garcia or Dillon, but it was still very nice.
From the NBC Sports archives.
You think you know Garcia or Dillon?
I said it wasn't either of those 2 guys.
All right, the Lakers control the tip. Steve, you mentioned that Bill was on West Coast time. It's actually 3 hours and 15 minutes difference. Kobe Bryant able to get inside. 11 points for Kobe, and the Lakers up by 1.
We'll see if the 76ers can keep moving the ball, moving people, and getting quick shots. The more they have to dribble, the more they get themselves in trouble and have to play from the edges.
Shot clock down to 5. Snow lost it. Snow recovers. Snow fires them up.
2 or 3 instances here in the second half. There have been some very close calls. The fans are saying, when are they going to blow the whistle against Shaquille O'Neal?
But you're not going to get a foul against the clock when you're off balance like that.
Steve, a foul is a foul.
You're always telling me that, but they never blow the whistle.
When they don't make calls, that's when it leads to the disasters like we saw with Lakers at Chicago a couple weeks ago.
They tackled his head. That was a disaster.
Are you guys finished?
Almost.
We have had enough. And I speak for the entire staff. Foul is called on Samaki Walker.
But watch now, this ball is going to come, and Snell's really got no chance of making that shot. He creates the contact, but he didn't go up with good balance. You're not going to get that call. They never give you that call. Remember when you tried that shot?
Shaq's having a tough night. He's got 13 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, 1 block. You have to ask why. I mean, is it Mutombo? Is it the early start of the game? Is it his toe? Probably a combination of all of the above.
He hasn't really gotten busy. I mean, it's not like they're just jamming it in there. He's going every time. In the finals, he went every single time he got it. He's been catching, holding, looking around, and sharing the wealth.
The scary thing for Philadelphia is that he's not having a great game, and the Lakers are still winning.
Lakers up 56-55. Here's Fox. And Mutombo with rebound number 16. Ooh. Iverson to the crossover. Iverson
breaking transition. They get him in the deep post quickly, and Kobe will rifle it to him.
Here's Bryant with the runner. Beautiful touch. And Kobe has 13 points. Lakers up by 3.
Dangerous part of that play is you got Shaq rolling to the basket. Kobe's actually looking for him. If you don't come, he's quite capable of making that little floater.
Iverson forced it, Hunter all over him. Here's Bryant, chased by Snow. And Kobe has erupted these last couple of minutes here in the third quarter.
Back-to-back buckets, but it's because of the defense of Lindsey Hunter. He's bothering Iverson with the long arm.
Eric Snow able to get inside, so the Lakers now lead 60-57.
Well, we talk so much about Philadelphia's league-leading defensive capabilities. It's the Laker defense, underrated, and they've really done a fine job this afternoon.
Walker posting on Coleman. O'Neal powers his way. It counts, and the foul.
This is why you have to deny penetration. Because as a big man, Dikembe Mutombo, the league's reigning defensive player of the year, he gets frozen when he has to take a step out here. Now, the long, wild rebound comes over the top. Mutombo out of position because he had to help on the penetration. This allows Shaq to establish whatever kind of position he wants.
Mutombo collecting his second foul. Let's go over to Jim Gray.
Marv, yesterday when we met with Dikembe Mutombo was pretty interesting. Not too many people around the NBA, particularly Shaq's opponents, have been willing to stick up for him with what happened with Brad Miller and Charles Oakley in Chicago. But Mutombo told us yesterday he didn't think that Shaq's response was inappropriate. He says you can't beat up a big guy night in and night out just because he's big. It was a very human reaction, and I support him. Marv?
All right, here's Mutombo with a long hook shot. What's your view on that, Bill, as a guy who is involved with some big people? And
the timing was all wrong for Shaq. You can't do it once the play comes to a stop. You got to do. There's endless opportunities out there to take care of business. On a rebound, on a loose ball. No place for violence in basketball.
Foul called on Snow, and once again O'Neal will head to the line for a possible three-point play. The Lakers 65 and the 76ers 59. The Lakers have scored 20 points thus far in this third quarter. The combination of Shaq and Kobe with 15 of the 20. Shaq coming on here in the third. Now 8 of 18 for his 18 points.
Mutombo with the 9 points, 4 for 5 shooting. Needs more shots there, but with Iverson having missed 11 of his last 13 shots, the Philadelphia offense has gone dead in the water.
What happened to that UCLA math that numbers get away from you?
There's a little delay. Notice that, yes. Shaq 2 for 5 from the line. Kind of a long pause. With those double digits, Bill has those problems.
It's a mechanical problem. Those are on my headset.
2.5 remaining in the third. Lakers up by 6. Iverson able to slash his way through.
That's one of the ways he can keep Hunter under control. Go right at him. Don't try to go around and go at him and then finish at the bucket.
Larry Brown telling us that Iverson gets into his biggest trouble when he comes to a dead stop. Got to keep it moving.
Fox is open. Fox taking it to the rim as he walked around Coleman. Good play by Hunter. It'll be Sixer ball.
Hunter's got some very quick, very active hands, and he wanted a call. But you can see Mutombo step in and say, no.
It's a foul, Steve. If you don't call that foul,
hand is part of the ball. It's always been
forearm.
Roger Bell has come on to provide a rest for Derek Coleman, who sits down with 10 points.
Lindsey Hunter crashes into Allen Iverson, and it's a good call.
Iverson for 3. Just under 2 minutes remaining in the third. Lakers in possession. They lead by 4. And Fox lost it. Kicked it out.
Fox goes into the defender of the year, and it's a foul. I don't understand you today. Maybe Mark was right about the time. Are you going to join us today?
I'm readjusting. I think he's on a 3.5-hour delay. Corey Blunt back on the floor for the 76ers. That's Blunt. Shot clock down to 6.
Now they'll give him the shot because he doesn't know what he wants to do. You know, a lot of times when Snow gets that ball against the shot clock, he's not sure where he's going, what he's trying to create. He got stuck, 1 on the clock.
Wonderful help defense that time by Robert Horry.
It only takes a half second to get a shot up, but you got to get it to the right guy.
Seemed like a little quick count on the 24-second buzzer.
This game's in Philadelphia, isn't it? Larry Brown can't believe the home court advantage being taken away from him by his own staff.
Remember, tenths of second. Tenths of second. It may show 1, but tenths of second. Snow out. Speedy in.
Eric Snow got off to the good start, particularly in the assist column. Sits down with 8 points. 8 assists. Speedy Claxton defending on Derek Fisher. Bryant played by Bell. Here's Bryant. Lost the handle, but last touched by the Sixers.
Yeah, Bryant is smiling. He's the last guy to touch it. I'm sure if you're the Sixers, you're saying, well, why didn't you call a foul? But watch this ball come flying out of his hands. No guy in white touched it.
O'Neal hits the friendly hop. So Shaq with a very strong third quarter. He now has 9 of his 20 in the third. 50 seconds remaining in the quarter. The Lakers lead by 6. Iverson.
Transition opportunity for Shaq.
Fisher for 3. Those are the kind of three-pointers Phil Jackson is not thrilled about.
How could you not dump that ball into Shaquille O'Neal?
Here's Claxton. Shaq hung back as Claxton was able to find the opening.
Well, that's twice now that Shaq has been torched by Speedy. Shaq's going to have to think that Speedy's going to be shooting that ball.
Final seconds of the quarter and a foul called on Bell.
You know, Brett, if Bell had just kept him under control, they might have missed a shot, had a chance to finish the play. As it is, they're going to give the Lakers the last chance here in the third quarter of play. And Jackson wants a timeout.
That was a foul to give on the part of the 76ers, so Lakers will talk it over. Phil a little impatient. He feels his guys are taking their time and coming back to the huddle. He says, get over here. It's just a 20-second timeout. They were not looking to listen to the discussion. High point men of the game. Shaquille O'Neal with 20. Kobe Bryant 15. Allen Iverson with 15. Iverson, though, just 7 of 23 from the field. Don't forget, next Saturday at 2 Eastern here on NBC, Ahmad Rashad will host the Fans Ultimate All-Star Preview. We'll look ahead to the big game and break down the top 5 NBA players that you voted for this year. That's the Fans Ultimate All-Star Preview with Ahmad next Saturday at 2 Eastern on NBC. 4 seconds remaining in the third. Horry from way downtown. So it's the Lakers 67, 76ers 63. As we head to the fourth, we'll be back after these words from your local station.
Welcome back to Philadelphia. I'm Jim Gray. Well, if you're a kid, you do very well with the 76ers because when you come to the game, first you get your lunch pail. Inside your lunch pail, you get this bobble doll, Dikembe Mutombo, but it's the finger waving that's really clever. Or you get the Moses Malone. He bobbles as well. This is my personal favorite, a rubber ducky of Allen Iverson. It floats, it chirps. Make a couple baskets as well. This a little fire truck with all the guys on it. And you know what's really amazing about this? When I do this, even Fred Carter, former player behind us, he bobbles. Marv, I know you're in line. The adults are fighting for these as well as the kids.
Fred Mad Dog Carter on cue. One-time 76er and Fred one-time Sixer head coach.
Where's the Marv Albert bobblehead?
They're working on it.
That's what I want to know. I'm waiting impatiently.
Fourth quarter is underway. 67-63 Lakers. Roger Bell cuts it to a 2-point Los Angeles lead. And the Lakers open up this fourth quarter with a backcourt of Kobe Bryant, Derek Fisher, Samaki Walker, Devin George, Robert Horry up front. So Shaquille O'Neal coming off a strong third quarter, sitting down, getting a rest.
Keep some pressure on Bryant, make him take some tough shots.
Well, Bryant draws the foul. In the third quarter, the Lakers with 22 points, and Shaq and Kobe combined for 17 of those 22 points. Corey Blunt picked up the foul.
The game for the Lakers in the fourth quarter, as Derek Coleman checks in, is going to be about poise, discipline, and confidence. Things they've picked up over the last couple of years in their championship runs. Well, Philadelphia, though, when Kobe's coming down the lane, you got Dikembe Mutombo there to block the shot. Don't let the little guys come in and mess it up down low.
Remember the fourth quarter in Los Angeles. It was Kobe Bryant who struggled the entire game. You told me he shouldn't have been playing. He couldn't breathe, and he made the final 8 points and all the big shots. You've got to keep the big hitters under control if you're going to close them out.
Kobe playing with those bruised ribs, able to hang in. And he pulled it out for the Lakers down the stretch. Lakers now lead 69-65. A minute gone by in the fourth quarter.
And that means Allen Iverson has to wake up. He's got to get going offensively.
Coleman has played very well. Derek Coleman, in only his second game back after that inflamed left foot injury against the Celtics the other night, he was 2 for 10, but had 11 rebounds and played very well defensively.
Played far too many minutes, both according to Derek and Larry Brown. 39 minutes, excuse me.
What he does is get great rebound position, so he doesn't jump as well as he used to, but if he's there with that wide body, he's going to control it.
Oh, Claxton able to work his way free. The tip by Coleman. Derek Coleman has tied the game at 69.
Will Derek Coleman be enough to shift the balance of power? Turnover Lakers.
And a good play defensively by Coleman in fronting Walker.
Derek Coleman has the ability to turn and pop right away. Most of the time he likes to pump fake. He had Horry down, and you'll watch his position. He's on the inside, and the ball goes up once, twice, there with the left hand for the tip.
For Derek Coleman, it's his second go-around as a member of the Sixers. Iverson, yes, he thought he was fouled. Sixers now lead by 2, 71-69.
Momentum swinging to Philadelphia. They've got to lay off the referees and just play basketball.
Bryant guarded by Bell. Coleman over to help. Fisher stepped out of bounds. He was backing deeper into three-point territory and stepped out.
Which coach is a better spectator than Phil Jackson? Anybody watch a game better than Phil Jackson does?
Steve, very patient. He's got 8 championship rings. He's got Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant on his team.
That's been his style, though, right from the start of his career. Iverson draws the foul.
Just because you're not up jumping around doesn't mean you're not coaching, Steve. Please, let's not mistake activity for achievement here.
Very well put.
Iverson should have him jumping up and down and being involved. But, I mean, he is the kind of a coach that can take 20 points being thrown on his team and just sit there and give him that quizzical look. You're going to play today or what?
If the coach is out of control, if the coach is losing his composure, what do you expect the players to do? Well, Jackson is a leader by example.
Are you talking about a lot of other coaches? Watch out.
Iverson at the line for the first time today. Phil, incidentally, is now 13th all-time on the coaching win list, 697 during the regular season. Recently passed by his mentor, the late Red Holzman. Much of Red's coaching philosophy lives on in Jackson, who played his first 10 seasons under Holzman as a New York Knick. And Red was that style, very laid back.
Red was a great coach. Speaking of late coaches,
Derek Fisher from downtown, and that is his first field goal. So the Sixers lead by 1.
Do you believe Jackson will stop coaching after 2004? You know him well.
I hope not. He's absolutely one of my favorites of all time.
Coleman with a nice move. Derek Coleman has been so effective. What a bounce-back season it's been for Derek here in Philadelphia.
Well, they took the big gamble, and today it's paying off. And he has been solid throughout on both ends of the court, off the court as well.
Horry had it knocked away, but last touch by the Sixers. So Derek Coleman with 16 points, along with 7 rebounds. A major factor here today. It's the Sixers by 3, 8.5 remaining in the fourth.
Derek Coleman has been questioned about his desire to reach the fullness of his greatness, but they've never questioned his fundamentals and ability to score and to rebound the basketball. And when you get Coleman down on the block, you get a guy that knows how to get busy, draw fouls, get shots away, and make things happen. And that's what he's done to help the Sixers get this slight advantage.
If you're going to ever beat the Lakers and Shaquille O'Neal, you have to have scoring forwards. Last year was Jermaine Jones, Tyrone Hill. They couldn't get a single point out of those guys in the finals. They were Harpering solid today. Derek Coleman near spectacular. Made a huge difference for Larry Brown.
Shot clock is down to 6. Down to 2. Shaquille firing at a line drive shot. Played well again by Mutombo.
Mutombo's kept him away from the hoop by and large today.
Spinning his way on Horry.
Now this is just a classic example of what you need. Someone who, other than Allen Iverson, who you can run an offense through. They clear it aside, they dump it in. It'd be nice to get a little bit of ball movement on the weak side, maybe a split on the strong side to give Derek some options. He's just playing too well right now, though.
So Derek Coleman looking for points, 17 and 18. He comes in averaging 14.5 per game. A reminder, next Sunday at 5 Eastern, right here on NBC, join Bob Costas for a look ahead to the upcoming Olympic Winter Games from Salt Lake, and a tribute to Olympic figure skating with special performances by Olympic gold medalist Tara Lipinski and Scott Hamilton. Allstate presents the All-Star Olympic Salute. That's next Sunday at 5 Eastern on NBC. 76ers with a 77-72 lead, just under 8 remaining in the fourth quarter. Marv Albert, Bill Walton, Steve Jones, Jim Gray from Philadelphia. Late whistle by Leroy Richardson. That prompted the roar from the crowd. Shaq will head to the line.
But the foul was committed early. Larry Brown realizes that the initial contact, which the referees ignored, thinking Shaq would just go ahead and score anyway. There's a body contact there. And that's what makes everybody irate.
Eric Snow didn't get that call. He shouldn't get that call. He's going away from the hoop. He's out of control. And you're saying he got hit. That's the biggest bust out here.
A foul is a foul, Steve. And Dikembe grabbed him in the paint area. Should have been called initially.
You're in the union today.
Shaq is now 3 for 7 from the line. So the 76ers up by 4. Larry Larry Brown staying with Claxton and Iverson in the backcourt. Bell, Mutombo, and Coleman up front.
Trying to come back to Coleman.
Mutombo, whoa! He was expecting contact. Fisher hit a three a moment ago.
Shaq's calling for the ball. Get it to him again and get him back to the line.
Fisher, he was extending in the air, wanted to give it up, and had nowhere to go, so he banked it home, and the Sixers now lead by 2.
But you're better making Derek Fisher make those kinds of shots and let him start throwing the ball into Shaq and let them get some sort of rhythm and swing the ball and control you offensively and defensively.
And at the other end, Fisher called for the foul. Now Eric Snow will come on for Roger Bell.
Last year, Larry Brown liked to play 3 guards. He's still doing the same thing. Derek Fisher, a couple of big hoops here in the quarter.
Iverson guarded by Fisher. Goes to the step back and hits. Allen Iverson picking it up. He now has 21, and the Sixers lead 79-75. Allen Iverson a question mark after injuring his lower back right at the end of the first half. Took treatment at halftime, and he has come back strong. Fisher from downtown. Rebounded by Claxton. He has Iverson on the wing. Iverson is wide open. Iverson not able to hit, and Shaw is on the loose ball.
Easiest shot he's had all night. Too much time to think about it.
Foul is called a reach-in. Ball knocked away from Shaw by Snow. That's the third on Snow.
Fisher plays Iverson as well as you can. And then the guy just backs up. As Larry Brown likes to say, this little kid is really good.
Corey Blunt coming in. Derek Coleman will get a short breather, I'm sure. Blunt does not represent the same kind of offensive force that Derek Coleman does, and they're only ahead by 4.
It's a gamble by Larry Brown. This game is being played at a pace that Coleman can go the rest of the way. He does have the sore foot, missing those 4 straight games before the last Boston game.
Fisher kicks it out. Here's Devin George for 3. And the ball back to the 76ers.
What happens with a lot of the Lakers is they get too anxious on their 3-point shots. Devin George had plenty of time. As soon as he got it, it was gone, and it wasn't a good shot.
So the Lakers now 3 of 13 from downtown. Well, the All-Star starters for the East and the West were officially announced yesterday. Look at the Eastern Conference All-Stars. Vince Carter, Dikembe Mutombo, Antoine Walker will be up front. Allen Iverson and Michael Jordan at the guard. So the Sixers with 2 representatives. Same for the Lakers. Kevin Garnett along with Shaq and Tim Duncan on the front line. And Kobe Bryant and Steve Francis in the backcourt. Now, the NBA selects the coach of the top team in each conference based on win-loss records. As of today, January 27th, Byron Scott has clinched it in the East. If the Lakers win here today, it means Phil Jackson will coach the Western squad. The All-Star game here in Philadelphia to take place 2 weeks from today. Eric Snow off the crossover, going at Shaquille O'Neal, and draws the foul.
Lakers had to switch. The ball movement came right back to Eric Snow, who just puts on a myriad of moves until Shaq finally goes for one, loses his balance, Shaq does, and then again the foul for his 4th.
Snow worked real hard for that effort, but he had the right idea. You got a big man on you. You got him out on the perimeter. Make sure you get the ball to the bucket. Don't just relax and try to shoot over him.
Snow is 5 for 5 from the line. He has made it back from that fractured left thumb injury. Such an important player in the 76ers scheme. And now the Sixers now lead 81-75.
Now the Sixers come with some full-court pressure and try to take some time off the clock and force Shaq to come away from the hoop to receive.
Well, this is a guy that can be the game breaker. Kobe Bryant back in the game. You're going to see him start to get his hands on that ball a whole lot more to try to close the lead.
Fisher for three.
You need inside-outside threes, not that kind of.
Lakers continue to struggle from downtown. Speedy Claxton logging minutes here in the fourth quarter. Comes off a strong game Friday night up in Boston. Iverson is open. Rebounded by Ori.
You can tell sometimes when Iverson's going to miss because his body is leaning and he's pulling off the shot. He pulled off that one.
And the outside official, Don Vaden, with the call on Derek Coleman. So that's 3 on Coleman. 14 fouls apiece. Phil Jackson going with Fisher and Bryant in the backcourt. O'Neal up front with Morey and Fox. And Rick Fox with 10 points. 76ers now lead by 4.
One of the reasons Philadelphia has been able to stay out in front here is they're clobbering the Lakers on the boards. 49-37, plus 12 on the backboards today.
They got it where they wanted. Let's see if Coleman can do something with it. Not a good effort that time. He didn't go up with his best shot after working so hard to get it down in the post, and that's going to get the Lakers the ball back.
And he's playing against Robert Horry, who's a phenomenal individual as well as team defender.
Single coverage on O'Neal, gets in deep. Nothing that Dikembe Mutombo could do against Shaquille O'Neal, and the Lakers are within 2.
But the repertoire for Shaq, move Mutombo up the lane and then reverse pivot, initiate contact we talked about in the open, and just lay it in off the glass.
Iverson just 9 for 27. That was intended for Coleman.
The power, the finesse, this unique combination. The little dribble up the lane, forcing Mutombo to commit to the middle where Shaq loves that jump hook.
Now Matt Harpring checks back in, replacing Speedy Claxton. Just under 4 minutes remaining in the fourth. Lakers with the ball trailing by 2 points. Bryant with the pass for Ori, trying to get it back.
Overpassing.
Here comes Snow. Well, he fools Coleman. Sloppy play at both ends.
Well, poor spacing by the Sixers on that break.
Iverson back for Snow. Coleman with the rebound. Mutombo, yes. Dikembe Mutombo with a baseline jumper. The Sixers lead 83-79.
Now Larry Brown is telling these guys, get up, pressure that ball, make them set up further out on the floor. Don't let Shaq get that great deep position.
Kobe Bryant. Shaq kept it alive, but it's rebounded by Coleman. Here's Snow. Bottled up by Bryant. And it's a jump ball.
These fans are having a time today.
It's going to be a timeout, but you know what Eric Snow is trying to do is create problems and create shots, and Mutombo delivers this one at the most timely of times for the Sixers.
For the Lakers, it is game 1 of a 5-game road trip. They come off the win at home against San Antonio after struggling, losing 5 of the previous 7. The 76ers have won 6 of the last 7. They have turned things around after the slow start. They're at the 500 mark at 21 and 21. Coleman, rebound Mutombo, who has had a brilliant afternoon. For Dikembe, it is rebound number 18. 2.5 remaining. In this fourth quarter, the Sixers with the new 24. They lead by 4. Iverson, he thought he was fouled.
Phil Jackson has just told his team, no more second shots, guys. You got to get the rebound, and they have not done a job on a board.
Shaq early and often in the shot clock here.
Here's Fisher for 3. He's been off, rebounded by Coleman. The next foul for each team would put them over the limit. Lakers 2 timeouts left. Sixers have 2 and a 20 with just under 2 to go in the fourth. Sixers up by 4. Crowd on its feet. Shot clock to 5. Iverson, yes! And the Sixers now lead and Phil Jackson wants to talk it over.
Watch this play right here. The ball goes off the foot of Mutombo, and Snow goes to the floor to save it and a right up the floor to beat the 8 seconds, which leads to this heart stopper for Phil Jackson.
So Allen Iverson with 23 points. A minute 47 remaining in the fourth. Back in Philadelphia, this may turn out to be the critical play of the game.
Yeah, there's no question. Eric Snow heads up. Look how close this ball is to going out of bounds to make the save. They had a 4-point advantage, and out of it, it results in this 2-pointer for Iverson to give him a 6-point lead, and the crowd feels one more bucket, one more big play by Eric Snow, and the deal will be sealed.
But the Lakers are in heaps of trouble right now. They've been settling for the perimeter game. They're only 3 for 15 from behind the arc. They've only taken 13 free throws for the game. They're not attacking the basket.
Well, Derek Coleman attacking the inbounds pass, able to slap it away.
Coleman almost in our lap that time. Bill Jackson said, I don't know if he can apply the pressure, but he's doing a good job down the stretch.
Coleman and Mutombo, what a combination on both ends of the court today.
Lakers looking for a quick shot. Kobe draws the foul, so Bryant will go to the line. That also puts the 76ers over the foul limit. That's 4 on Coleman. Kobe Bryant, 3 for 3 from the line. Will shoot 2. Very quiet day here for Kobe back in his hometown. Was in early foul trouble. He's 7 of 16. He has 17 points. And this is the first of 2. Well, auto racing's biggest event will start the NASCAR season at Daytona International Speedway. Early buzz centers around reigning, I'm told the early buzz centers around reigning Winston Cup champion Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt Jr. as the favorites for NASCAR's most prestigious race, the Daytona 500, coming to NBC for the first time Sunday, February 17th. Minute and a half remaining in the fourth. Sixers up by 5. Snow is open. Rebounded by Ori and a foul against the Sixers, and not a good foul. Stops the clock. Gives the Lakers a chance to cut into that lead.
It appeared as if Ori was going to the ground on his own. He had to jump back for this long rebound. It was too far underneath the basket as Derek Coleman had inched his way in there. Larry Brown. Tough to be a coach in this league.
But, you know, you talk about games being important. Talked about how important it is to the Lakers to start their 5-game trip with a win, but the Sixers are trying to climb back to the top of the Eastern Conference, which they won a year ago. If they could win today and back it up with a win against Minnesota here on Tuesday, they would really be sending a message to the rest of the East that they're on their way back.
One shot. Ori, a 73% free throw shooter on the line for the first time. As you saw, that was number 5 on Coleman. A minute 24 remaining in the fourth, and a 4-point game. Sixers 85, Lakers 82.
Ori up in the backcourt trying to take the ball out of Iverson's hand.
Ori and Fisher on the track. Snow being played now by Fox. Shot clock down to 7. Here's Snow. Offensive foul. The ball back to the Lakers.
Terrific defense. The hallmark of the Lakers and every Phil Jackson championship team. Fox stays in there. They had to switch. Fox not normally matched up with Snow, and who just lowers his shoulder. Easy play to call.
Only Snow's second turnover. That was shades of the Chicago Bulls track with Pippen and Jordan stepping out.
What you got to do is make sure you know what you want to do. Kobe Bryant comes back to make it a 1-point game.
Just under 1 minute remaining. In the fourth quarter, Sixers up by 1. And away from the ball, Iverson hits the floor. It is called on O'Neal. That is number 5. Lakers over the foul limit. So Iverson to the line.
Shaq can't believe it. He's standing there, and Allen Iverson runs full speed right into him, falls over, and they call the foul on Shaq. He's supposed to get out of his way.
Reggie Miller.
When Shaq is running, when Allen's running away from the basket, he's supposed to just get out of his way.
Reggie Miller does that better than any other player in the NBA. You find a big guy, you fall off of him at the right time, and Shaq was moving just enough to get the attention of the official. Iverson gets the first one. You got to get some breaks in these games.
There's my glass.
No. I don't even want to look through those things.
So the Sixers now lead by 3 with 40 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Lakers have hit their last 5 shots. Somehow Fisher was able to get ahead of the field, but could not convert. Here comes Snow with a half minute remaining. No reason to shoot at this point, and he pulls it back. There's a 10-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock.
Well, there's a guy they should foul, McKee, who's barely been in the game.
Here's Mutombo. Oh, big bucket by Dikembe Mutombo. The Sixers open up at 89. 84 lead. Lakers use their final timeout with 14 and a half seconds to go in the fourth.
As soon as McKee got the ball, they should have been running at him, let him find Mutombo, and everybody here at the First Union celebrating because of this hoop.
So with the timeout, we'll take a break. We'll be back after these words from your local station. The Lakers have just used their final timeout. 14 and 5/10 seconds remaining in the fourth. Iverson with a terrific defensive play to knock it off Fisher. It'll be Sixer ball. They lead by 5 points. 76ers on their way to making it 7 wins their last 8 games. Now here's Speedy Claxton coming on, replacing... Well, Dikembe Mutombo will sit down. What a ball game for Dikembe. 13 points, 18 rebounds in 41 minutes. Derek Coleman also sits down. Bryant giving the foul on Iverson.
Front court scoring. We talked about it at the very outset of the game today. Larry Brown realizing he needed it. He made the big move to get Derek Coleman. Derek Coleman has left the court. He's gone into the locker room right now. Tremendous game for Coleman. 18 points, 12 boards. Mutombo, whose stamina continues to amaze me. Mutombo battles Shaq with 13 points, 18 boards of his own. Hope lives here in Philadelphia and around the NBA that somebody can indeed compete with this great Lakers squad.
Allen Iverson with 26 points, playing hurt throughout the second half. Not shooting well, 10 for 29, but he has done it in the second half, and the Sixers now lead by 7 points, 91 to 84. So they get a split of the season series against the team they faced in the NBA Finals a year ago. Shaq able to put it down, so he has 25 points, and a foul is called with 6 seconds to go.
Derek Coleman on the Shaq foul, but you know what the Sixers have today, which they haven't had, is balance in their entire starting lineup. Everybody that started scored in double figures, and that's what they're going to need if they think they're going to get back to the championship round, to keep the pressure off of Allen Iverson, who has been averaging 40 up to today and only 26 this afternoon.
3-point play for Shaq. Final seconds, 91-87. Sixers with the lead. Shaq with 26. Kobe only 20 points. And once again, Iverson will be sent to the line, fouled by Fisher.
Well, you can just see the frustration and anxiety in Phil Jackson's face. The disappointment of not being able to coach Yet another All-Star game. It's got to be one of the crushing blows in his Hall of Fame career.
Well, Phil is one who has expressed he loves the whole All-Star weekend, but he would prefer watching it on television. And although obviously he would have liked to have won here this afternoon, he wanted the 3-day rest. And with the Sixers beating the Lakers, it means that Don Nelson of the Dallas Mavericks will be the coach of the Western Conference All-Stars.
What a resurrection. What a turnaround for Dallas. Mark Cuban putting it all together. Congratulations to Don Nelson.
Sixers now lead 93-87. Here's Fisher for 3. O'Neal will count. No, it's academic. 76ers have defeated the Lakers 93-87 in an excellent game here at First Union Center in Philadelphia. So the high point men, Allen Iverson with 29, Shaquille O'Neal with 26 for Bill Walton, Steve Jones, Jim Gray. I'm Marv Albert. Again, the final score, 76ers 93, Lakers 87. They're chanting, beat L.A. Right now, we take you to Breckenridge, Colorado for the Chevy Truck U.S. Snowboard Grand Prix already in progress.